Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, another series and a sweep for the New York Yankees. They sweep their third series in a row, taking 3 out of 3 against the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City. And the Yankees right now are the hottest team in baseball, the best record in baseball, at least as I'm saying this, not only in the American League, but the National League. So yes, even a better record than the Dodgers, supposed to be the team coming into the season. Again, the Yankees hot as a pistol, taking on the last 11 out of 12 games. Again, this time on the road in Kansas City. So we'll get into all that, but before we do, if you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the podcast. Get additional content throughout the week. Section 420, Talkin Yankees. So wherever you listen to this right now, I'm sure there's a subscribe button. Hit that and get content. So let's just say, you're on the treadmill and you want to kill 10 minutes, or maybe perhaps, the significant other won't shut up and you just want to put the earbuds in a little bit and drown them out a little bit. This is perfect. Download future episodes coming out, again, every week, multiple times a week, and again, it's exclusive for podcast subscribers only. So the Yankees, after kind of back-to-back sweeps of the Cleveland Guardians and Baltimore Orioles, took the show to road to Kansas City. And even when the Yankees were in New York hosting the Orioles, kind of a very chilly, a couple of chilly nights, a lot of wind, very windy, very unspring-like weather, almost fall-like weather, a little preview of fall, early preview of fall. And it was kind of the same situation for the Midwest. A lot of other events were being postponed and canceled due to some tornado warnings and strong winds. But for not only Kansas, but Missouri and Oklahoma, I guess they call that the Tornado Alley. But luckily, the Yankees were able to get all the games in. And the Yankees got to work right away in the first inning of the first game. 2-run home run by Anthony Rizzo, his 9th of the season, followed by a Stanton blast, and gave Nestor Cortez an early 3-0 lead, and that's all he would need. Pretty much handled the Kansas City lineup pretty well. Only went 5 innings, but enough for the win. And the Yankees did tack on some more runs later on, including a Judge blast in the 7th inning, would be his first of 3 home runs for the entire weekend. And even Gleyber Torres, again, who hasn't had a great season so far overall, contributed with a home run in the 8th inning. And the Yankees tacked a few more runs on and would, again, ultimately come away with a 12-2 opening game victory. Now, the second game was probably the little bit most interesting just because Cole was starting. It was like, all right, Cole's last start was very dominant against the Cleveland Guardians, again going 6 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. I was like, all right, is that the real Cole? Or is it going to be the Cole that we saw the first couple of starts this season, who's kind of been a little bit iffy? Well, Cole kind of just picked up wherever he left off, gives the Yankees 6 shutout innings of baseball, kind of is looking like his old dominant self, attacking the strike zone. So I don't know if he's using something different. He has a different grip. He's hiding something in his underwear. Whatever he's doing right now, it's working because, again, his last 2 starts combined, 12 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. And the Yankees did a little bit of small ball, again, kind of a field of choice as well, a couple of sacrifice flies to stay cold to the 3-0 lead, and that's all they would need. The bullpen would hold it down, and Chapman would get the save in the 9th. The only blemish of the game was Joey Gallo, who had to leave with some groin tightness. Last podcast episode, kind of, opened my big mouth and kind of said, hey, the Yankees are healthy so far in 2022. Well, as soon as I say that, Gallo goes down with this injury. Now, it doesn't seem very dire. Kind of seems day-to-day at this point. Wasn't available for the third game. So I don't think it's a situation where it's critical to put him on the IL, but I guess they kind of handle it day-to-day. But again, they lose Gallo. And maybe some Yankee fans would like that because, even though he did hit 2 home runs this week, overall hasn't had a good season so far, and fans getting a little upset with him. So maybe fans won't mind seeing him out for a while. So again, I expect to see a lot more Tim Castro lately. But then that brings the Yankees to the third game, which I'm not going to say it was the best win of the season. I'll still put that towards that that Saturday Cleveland Guardians, that beer throwing game as the most exciting win of the season, just because there was a 9th inning comeback victory. But this was a close second. And again, all the drama happened in the 7th inning. But before we get there, this was a game where the Yankees got staked to an early 1-0 lead. A home run by Judge in the first inning gave against Severino the early 1-0 lead. But Severino, this was probably his least effective start so far of the season. Got touched up for a home run of his own himself in the 3rd inning, and ended up giving up 3 runs in that inning total, as well as another run in the 4th inning, and was behind 4-1 in the game. Now, the Yankees did chip away a little bit, cut the lead to 4-3 for the Royals, but it was really the 7th inning, which probably the most satisfied inning of the entire season. Now, they had Dylan Coleman on the mound, who did give up the big 3-run home run to Judge on the Friday night game out there, and he was ahead of IKF 1-2, but kind of Fleffer just put a good at bat on, laid off some tough pitches, fouled off a couple pitches and would end up walking to start the inning. Now, he was followed up by Anthony Rizzo, who didn't start the game, but Boone brought him off the bench just because the whole, left-handed bat against a righty pitcher. And, of course, Rizzo's been, one of the best home run hitters so far to start the season, so why not? And now Rizzo kind of did what Rizzo does, not in terms of hitting, but actually getting hit by a pitch. I mean, no one gets hit by a pitch more than Anthony Rizzo. And the second pitch gets hit in the leg, kind of a sweep and breaking ball that I guess didn't cut right. And luckily for Rizzo, actually held his hands back because he kind of had to swing in motion. And if he would have swung through that, then it would have been negated. But he was able to hold his hand back. And now the Yankees have something cooking there with runners on first and second with DJ LeMahieu up, who again, steady Eddie, that's a reliable guy, somebody you want up there. Now LeMahieu himself fell behind 0-2, but same thing, kind of lay off some tough pitches. Got a little help from the umpire. There was a low ball that was called a ball, but I think it should have been strike. But DJ, got the benefit of the doubt, and ultimately DJ himself would work a walk. So now he had bases loaded, nobody out, with Aaron Judge up. I mean, great opportunity for the Yankees to really put a crooked number up. Not only tie the game, but of course take a lead because again you have no runners out. But Mike Matheny, the Kansas City manager, wasn't messing around. Takes Coleman out, puts in Steve Bartow. And on the second pitch to Judge kind of had like a little, I guess you call it a swing and bunt. Seemed like he was unsure if he wanted to swing or not, kind of a little bit of a check swing, and hit the ball just perfectly up the first baseline. Bartow was able to field the ball, throw it to first, yes, get Judge out, but Judge did his job because Kaif was able to score easily from third base, and the Yankees had tied the game up 4-4 and was set up with runners now at second and third and only one out, where in a situation where the Yankees could at least, take the lead without even with an out, could still take the lead, and that brought up Josh Donaldson. Now, Donaldson and Kansas City brought in the infield again to cut off the run from third base. Now, Donaldson hit a ground ball to shortstop to Lopez, and now Rizzo went on contact, and I guess that's the slight hesitation by Lopez, just enough time for Rizzo to slide his leg in there. So Lopez went home with the ball, but it was a little too late. Rizzo was able to slide under the tag, and now the Yankees had taken a 5-4 lead, and again, equally as important, no outs in that play. It set up a situation where the Yankees now had first and third with only one out, with Giancarlo Stanton up. So Matheny, I guess, knowing that Gleyber Torres is kind of struggling a little bit this season, decided to intentionally walk Stanton, and they went after Gleyber. And now Gleyber was ahead of the count, three balls, no strikes, bases loaded, only one out. I mean, he's definitely in the driver's seat to do something good here. Now, he did take the first a cold strike down the middle, which he's supposed to do in that situation, so I don't blame him there. Next pitch ended up fouling off, and then finally Bartow was able to get out of jam, gets Gleyber to hit to the ball to the shortstop for I guess the old 6-4-3 double play. And ironically enough, it was probably the hardest hit ball of the entire inning. But for Gleyber, a situation where he could have came through in a big way. I know he did had that game-winning hit against Clase in the Guardian game, but really an opportunity where Gleyber could have came through here. Again, hit a home run on the Friday night game, and would have been nice if he could have really put the ball in the gap or something like that. But ends up blowing a big opportunity, and the Yankees kind of have to settle for a 5-4 lead at that point, and when maybe they should have had like a 6-4 or 7-4 lead. So if you're Kansas City at that point, you kind of you bummed out, you blew the lead, but you almost a sigh of relief that could have been much worse. But for the Yankees, they did get a little bit of an extra cushion. Judge hit his third home run of the weekend in the eighth inning, gave the Yankees a 6-4 lead, and that was enough for Chapman. Chapman didn't really get a clean save, got 2 outs pretty early, but then gave up an opposite field single, followed by a walk. So, Kansas City was threatening a little bit with Benintendi up. Now, the Yankees got another break in this game. The first pitch was cold strike to Benintendi. Ball was definitely outside, but Trevino just framed it. He's a really good framer, framed it right, and the Yankees were able to get a first pitch strike on that. And then at that point, Chapman was able to get a Benintendi to ground out to second base, and that put it away. And again, the Yankees took the third game with a 6-4 victory, and again completed the sweep of the series. So great weekend for the Yankees, and they just keep on rolling. Again, the only blemish now is that Gallo. We just don't know what the situation is with this groin injury. And especially now they're going to go to the Rogers Center in Toronto. And, of course, that's on AstroTurf, which is, usually taxing on the legs of outfielders. But a couple of different issues, with that series coming up. Again, the Yankees flying to Toronto, of course. The whole COVID issue and the vaccination, of course. It's out there that, both Rizzo and probably Judge aren't vaccinated. And, of course, it's mandatory to be vaccinated. So I don't know. Boone kind of put it out there that, we'll be fine. So I don't know what that really means. So did they get vaccinated, or are they not going to make the trip? It's going to be interesting how that unfolds. We'll see what happens there. But the Yankees, and of course, Toronto. A lot of people are picking Toronto to be the team in the AL East. And of course, they are a good team, only about a game and a half behind the Yankees, so they're still neck and neck. Got the offense, and came to Yankee Stadium early this season. Again, they split the series 2-2. Again, the Yankees should have took at least 3 out of 4 of those games. But again, a Toronto tough foe. It's going to be a tough series. So the Yankees keep it going. Again, overall things going well, and really now, funny enough, that Judge has gotten going with the home run ball. Especially with this weekend, the whole thing is now people are kind of looking into that $213 million offer that the Yankees offered him to start the season that Judge declined. And if Judge keeps going like this season, the Yankees are going to have to pony up a lot more than $213 million, because again, a lot of other teams are going to put offers out there. So again, Judge, if Judge is going to have a good season and help the Yankees get the AL East title, and all for it. But again, he's also going to be padding up his pocketbook, because right now $213 million kind of looks like spit at this point for someone like Aaron Judge's production he could put up. So again, Section 420 Talking Yankees. Subscribe to the podcast. Again, get more content. It's exclusive for podcast subscribers. Over and out, and we'll see what happens in Toronto.